goes up in the finals against Ascendancy, who we saw just take out Capitalize. It's going to be a good match for sure. TBM, what do you make of this? I mean, we talked about it a little bit before. Pengu Squad, Sinful Souls. What do you think?
I'm gonna have to put my money on Pengu Squad. I mean, they're a super solid team coming into this match. I mean, anything is possible, though. I mean, Route 66, given the map that it is, I mean, you can run any diverse component, but again, it just comes down to mechanical skills, and I think that Pengu Squad has got this game. But then again, Sinful Souls could pull out something great out of the bag because they beat Players, and mind you, Players is one of the best teams in India at the moment. And for a team like Sinful Souls to just come up and show that they're better than that, they should be in a position to beat Pengu Squad if they do, you know, not be intimidated by how good Pengu Squad might be as a team, because that could really cause a bit of an issue with the team itself. You know, like if they're scared of one particular player, they're going to be like, oh my god, we can't do this. And they're just going to lose their composure that way. I just think they need to be composed together as a team and trust each other, which is what's going to help them win at the end of the day. Nothing more, in my opinion.
I have to agree. I feel like Pengu should be able to kind of push right through this and make their way into the final, where Ascendancy is going to be a really, really tough battle for them. But this matchup, I feel like they have a pretty solid standing on. I feel like they're going to be able to hold this one out. They're defending first here on Route 66, which is a map that we've seen a couple of times today already. And it looks like Gordon actually going to be on a Torbjorn at the moment. And we'll have to see if he's going to stick to that or not. But setting up a turret up top in that that little train right there. And they also put down Ziggy's shield there as well from Marissa. And that's something that isn't new either. You know, bringing that Orisa to kind of shield off the pressure that could go over to that turret. And once he does get off some initial DPS with that turret, which isn't fully covered, but you know, it's still going to be able to get off a lot of ult charge for him. He's going to be able to get a reset and set that one back down. But not actually going to be able to get much of anything out of it at all, because the D.Va blocked out all that damage and they just eliminated it very quickly. But now setting it back up, they're going to be able to get those resets on the shield, and that turret should be pretty safe here.
How do you think the Orisa comes into play over here on this map? I've never seen Orisa being used on Route 66 before. Do you think this could work if they play according to that shield? Because that shield comes in clutch in a lot of parts. A lot of ways, rather.
Well, this shooting lane is certainly a good sight line. Oh, but not going to work out. Rex, who was powered up there by AU on the Mercy, is able to find 3 kills and the turret along with it. Really good biotic from ZU there to be able to eliminate some of that healing potential that could come through. And Warlock coming through with a nice kill as well, but out of position here, should be eliminated for sure. And as Soge King actually is in a very, very good spot himself up top, they should be able to take these guys out. And they do make some swaps as Ziggy goes over to D.Va and Gordon goes over to Genji. So they are going to be going back over to the composition that, you know, really works out well for them.
Initially running, yeah.
Yeah. The only difference is that Bubble Kitty is going to be on Tracer here instead of the Pharah that is obviously has proven to be very, very strong for them on a lot of maps.
Yeah. But I still fail to see how they're going to deal with this hit scan of... I mean, he'll deal with the Pharah since they have no hit scan to, you know, take her down, because she has a Mercy backing her up. I mean, if they push in through with the Pharah and Mercy, they could really make it work. But as it comes to the defense side, I don't really see the Pharah being taken down as far as, you know, eliminating her goes. But I mean, if the Ana's able to do much work and take her down, then yeah, all's well.
Well, obviously there's two schools of thought of trying to deal with a threat like that. I mean, you know, you have the try to take the hit scan battle, you know, use the D.Va, use a Zenyatta, use a Soldier, that kind of thing, or a McCree could potentially be better in some cases as well, because you can actually counter out that Mercy res by charging up those headshots with the Deadeye as people are in Vuln and rezzing, and then as soon as they, you know, get out of those Invuln frames, you can take those free kills. Gordon coming through with an insane Dragon Blade there to be able to kind of wipe these guys up.
But
so
the Genji goes a little bit too deep and gets killed, and yeah, D.Va's... Oh, they're not killing the D.Va because they don't want the possibility of having a mech come back. Pretty smart play on the side of Pengu Squad over here.
So the other school of thought, and that's seemingly what we're seeing from Pengu Squad, is just ignore it. Just take it out. I mean, they're sacrificing 2 players for this, and if they're not getting the DPS out, if they're not landing the damage, you can ignore it and safely take a 6v4 or potentially, you know, 6v5 or whatever you want to call it. And that's kind of what they're trying to do with that thought process. But now AU going to be switching over to that Zenyatta, and now they have extra damage threat from that Zenyatta and from the Discords that Pengu, seemingly, at least with that push, couldn't really deal with. And now they're falling back here. Rex going to be taken down pretty low here, but should be able to find this kill onto Ziyu.
Looks like they're still going to try and defend this point. Winston pretty low, could be taken down there. And wow, what an amazing take back with the self-destruct.
And that's the second time we've seen Ziggy actually have something like that happen. It was on this exact same stage of this exact same map where he actually got his team back into the game by putting out that Diva ult, that self-destruct, being a big saver for this team. Now they only have Transcendence here, but could potentially be enough as long as they kind of take their time here, play a little bit defensively, not passively, but defensively is what they're looking for here. Duel looking to try to take some early picks. Already found one into Warlock. That's definitely one you want to look for.
Transcendence over there completely blocks out any damage. Will they be able to hold this? Looks like they will, as we have 3 players fall on the side of Sinful Souls. And yeah, looks like they're going to defend this point with ease.
That's going to be overtime ticking. Overlord, the only one left on the point. Overtime going to go down. I don't think anybody's going to be... Oh, they do actually get the Tracer there in time, but I don't know if he's going to be able to make it back again. And that's going to be it. 79.88 meters.
Down that Tracer.
So again, really solid performance from Pengu Squad, who have yet to really be... I mean, no one's really been able to contest this team so far. I mean, obviously Ascendancy in the finals will be that team, but I think we're looking for a little bit before then. I think we're looking for a little bit of some contention before that stage. Now, on their attacking side, I mean, they only have to go 80 meters. This should be really easy for them, honestly. They should be able to push through and take us to a map 2 very quickly here.
I mean, they could have pushed that point, but if you notice, every single one of them on the side of Pengu Squad, they were very patient. They waited for the whole team to come back, and then they went to contest that point, and they just ended up wiping Sinful Souls over there when it looked like it was in their favor for a moment, and then it just... Okay, well, a lot of disconnects coming onto the side of Sinful Souls.
Oh man, well, it's a good thing that it happened as the match hadn't started yet, you know, as opposed to in the middle of the match when 4 people DC like that. So definitely not good, but could be a lot worse. So these guys will come back, will be able to start up, and they won't lose out on anything because they also, I mean, they are on defense, so really you would like to see, the whole team win. I don't know what happened. Did they all DC, or are they just...
I hope it's a DC and not, you know, I mean...
Bowing out?
Yeah, it's possible, but I doubt they would do that.
I don't think they would either. They seem like
pretty
competitors,
straight up,
you know?
But there's no information. They might, I think they're playing LAN together. So I think they might have got disconnected. As I said earlier, Hurix, like there are a lot of internet issues when it comes to India. It's horrible over there. Oh, this is really...
I see you in chat, Shifty. How about contestation? That's a word. We can use that one. We'll use that one. Alright, it looks like it is going to be a DC. Our admin said it looked like they all just dropped out. Well, we'll be able to give them a little bit of time. I don't really remember exactly how long the rules state that they're allowed to, you know, stay like this. Obviously, for the tournament's sake, we don't want to be sitting here for 20-30 minutes waiting for this team to come back. But we'll have to see what the case is.
Okay, so Archangel is friends with Soul Hunter from Sinful Soul, so hopefully we're able to find out what exactly happened to them. And they're able to make it back into the game soon. But what happens in a situation like this, Yurix, if the players are not able to make it back in a certain amount of time?
Well, unfortunately, what typically would happen, I would have to consult the rules myself, but certainly our admins would know for sure. Unfortunately, if a team, DCs like this and they completely drop out, typically what you would see is a complete disqualification, and we would just have to move on with the tournament because we don't want to put everything on hold. Maybe if it was a final situation, they might postpone it or something like that. But because another match has to be played after this, typically you would have to disqualify them and move on. But it looks like we just got word from the admin that they're going to be waiting 5 minutes. Back. But we got the guys back in. So hopefully we can get them back in because I'm really looking forward to this game here.
Yeah, as far as my sources go, the entire team is going to be returning, and they do. Seems like they had an internet issue which caused them all to get disconnected, but fortunately they are back, and we can get on with this semi-final.
All right, so Overlord did get his himself back in and the rest of his team back in, so luckily we don't have to wait for too long, and we also get to watch this match. We don't have to, move on into the finals without seeing this one, so I'm really, really ecstatic that we get to see that. These guys are going to be, again, on defense, so they need to get into position quickly. Luckily, I mean, it really wasn't at too poor of a time at all, so they will be able to make it back onto Big Earls in, plenty of time. Certainly looking for Rex to, get into position as well, but with 35 seconds remaining before the round even starts and those gates open for the attacking side, they got plenty of time. They'll be able to make it. We do see the Zenyatta back there as well, and he's going to be able to make it. So all is well, nothing lost.
Picks on the side of Pengu Skuad as they go with the Sombra. I would really like to see how they make that work with the comp that they're running right now.
The good news is that, I mean, if they play off of that, I mean, either under Big Earls where that big health pack is, or potentially, okay, so they're not going to pull it out, but in that that cave as well, off to the side, that alternate route that you can go through, there's another health pack as well. So there is options if you want to bring that out, but Ziyu, of course, being their support player, you don't typically see him playing that role. Now we will see Sogeking actually on the Hanzo, which is a little bit of a standout to me because they're running that single support with Ziyu, and guy's going to be pulling out the Hanzo looking for some picks, and they don't have that Zarya to just get that easy wipe potential, which could very well determine the round. So, I mean, would be a great idea to have if you're going to bring out the Hanzo anyways.
Yeah, but Pengu Skuad being pushed back a bit despite the pick onto the Zenyatta by Ziggy.
Rex getting pressured down, but
held back a bit. They're gonna have to rework their comp if they're gonna push, because I don't really see the Hanzo doing, and he switches over to the Lucio. Looks like they're gonna be running a double support over here.
I think they were just giving him an opportunity
with the ultimate charge. Yeah, pretty much.
They were just allowing him to play Hanzo because, I mean, this should be an easy round for them to take, given their defensive hold. I mean, it should be a pretty easy take. So I think they were just trying to give him an opportunity to play something like Hanzo for the kicks. But
maybe something that he wants to play. Basically every Reinhardt player in the world like forced to play Reinhardt, but they can't really play any other hero that they want. Why? Because he's simply main Reinhardt. And anyways, that is the game, and Pengu Skuad will be taking this very easily. What do you feel that Sinful Souls could have done differently that could have helped them win that game?
Well, the problem here is that I think a big reason why, at least I thought Pengu Skuad was going to be the victor for this series, not even just this map, but the series, I think they're just outmatched in terms of mechanical ability. I mean, you could also say a lot about their shot calling and, how they are composed as a team and all the cohesion that they have, the synergy with the roster. That can certainly be stated as well, but I think mechanically it is a big reason why they're falling short, and there's not really a lot they can do about that, unfortunately. Certainly they can kind of play a little bit slower of a composition, which they are sort of doing, but maybe taking away one of those hit scans, maybe playing a triple tank, but even triple tank is a little scary. Maybe you want to do Zarya Diva along with the Reinhardt and just try to play it very slow, try to take your picks when you can, keep everything relatively safe. And that way, you probably won't get picked off as much by guys like Gordon. and you can prevent things like Sogeking going over to Hanzo whenever he wants to, you know, be a little bit of a memer, you know.
Looks like we're gonna lose on tower, and this is where Makeway got destroyed by the team in the upper hand, and that team is Pengu Squad. Hoping to see them make an amazing play again. Hoping to see that Farah come out, to be honest, because we haven't seen Bubble Kitty on that for a while, and it does feel like a while because he hasn't been all that prominent in this game despite his team winning. So would definitely like to see the Farah and Mercy come out again this game.
All right, so jumping into Lijiang Tower here in just a moment now. I mean, Farah Mercy definitely going to be a big thing to come out probably from Bubble Kitty. I have to imagine that we are going to be seeing that comes through. So Sinful Souls obviously wants to be able to bring out a Diva, maybe a Soldier or a McCree, and then, you know, hopefully something like a Zenyatta or maybe an Ana we're going to be seeing more than likely. But Rex looks like he typically just plays Zarya. I mean, we haven't seen him on anything else so far, and they haven't been playing much Diva, which, again, I would really like to see. I'm a big believer in the fact that Diva is incredibly strong right now. Another word you could use is broken, and and I really think that it's one of those things that, like, you just kind of have to have in a lot of these compositions. You don't have to have them in all compositions, but you really do have to have that Diva. You really have to play her as often as you possibly can, I think, to really kind of take advantage of the fact that really right now she's
given
so
her
strong.
Insane durability and the damage output she has at close range, it makes her pretty much the most viable tank in the game at this moment because she works with any composition. You really like you can see her take more damage than a Reinhardt, and she's a very solid hero. I mean, the game has made her that way, but as long as she remains unchanged for the next few months or even seasons, I mean, Diva could definitely be the best tank in the game right now. And I feel a lot of teams should be taking advantage of that, at least as far as the Indian scene goes. Because we don't see much of Diva being picked on all teams. It's just like one or two teams that we've seen the Diva being picked out on, and that's like what? Team Makeway, Pengu Squad, and Ascendancy. Other than that, I don't think there have been any prominent Diva picks, at least notable ones.
Yeah, certainly, you know, the teams that we would probably consider favorites are all using Diva, and I don't necessarily think that a reason why they're favorites is because they're playing Diva, but I think it speaks to the fact that they have done their research and they know exactly what's going on outside of just this, you know, what's going on in the overall, you know, the overarching meta of the game as a whole. And taking note of that and integrating that into their own compositions and their own play. And I think that speaks a lot to, you know, why they're so strong as well. But looking here at Lijiang Tower, you've got a team, Pengu Squad, that we've already said has pulled it out, whereas on the other side, you know, they haven't. Granted, it's not something that you have to pull out all the time. Here we're going to be seeing Bubble Kitty more than likely come out with a Tracer or a Pharah, one of the two. They already have, you know, the other... Uh-oh, he's not picking anything yet. Okay, he does go for the Tracer, and they do have duel not actually on the Winston. They have him on... Okay, so he's going to go back over to it. I was worried about that. I was like, wait a second. He should be on the Winston here with this comp, going with that triple DPS dive. Sogeking on the Zenyatta. I mean, you're talking about a classic rogue comp here.
Yeah, it should be really interesting to see. I like the soldier pick that's come out of Sinful Souls. I think this is the first soldier pick we have seen in the tournament so far.
Well, we've seen some soldier. We've seen double hit scan as well. We've definitely seen some of it for sure.
Okay, now that I remember, at least the soldiers that were prominent, hopefully Slayer's able to make a difference, but it seems like Sinful Souls get shut down again.
Rex versus Gordon here in an isolated duel, but he's jumping onto the point, gonna get eliminated, and that's Pengu Squad easily capturing that point first there here on Night Market, and this is looking like it's already set up to be a similar performance to what we saw happen versus Make Way.
The thing about Pengu Squad, they're just being so overly aggressive, not giving Sinful Souls any sort of space to push.
Alright. So I gotta make a quick swap here, actually, as unfortunately the stuff is swapped up a little bit, so we'll go ahead and make that change, and that's gonna be Easy to do, and there we go. And now going back over into the game, unfortunately. Sorry, guys, about that. But anyways, Pengu Skuad right now, ready to get back into it. They do not make it back onto the point here, TBM. I mean, they're forced to come out. They have Primal Rage ready to go, and if they were able to kind of jump in there, Zio would have been able to come through with that sound barrier as well, and that would have been huge for them actually to get back on there and sustain on that point and get out a little bit, kind of squeak out a little bit more of that score. Now they're gonna have to.
Well, definitely, but now it looks like they're going into the Nano Blade, and it does work. Luckily, it happens in time, but wow, Gordon just bringing it back and destroying everyone on the side of Sinful Souls over here. And seems like they will take the point back once the Winston falls, and he does. So a very short hold for Sinful Souls, and just Pengu Skuad just brings it back, saying, "No, this is our yard now."
I still think that it would have been really nice to see Duel actually make it over to that point, get that Primal Rage going, sustain on in there long enough to allow ZU to actually get the sound barrier off. I think they would have been able to get a lot more with that, and we would have been able to see them get 100-0, more than likely.
I feel one big mistake Sinful Souls make, they keep coming out of the same place. Like, that's the most obvious place that they're gonna come out of. I would like to see them be a bit unpredictable and, you know, take Pengu Skuad by surprise by, say, coming out from the top or even from the left side. I mean, it could work.
That's something that we haven't seen much of at all with any of these teams, actually. Just the lack of depth in terms of strategy is something that's been kind of a glaring issue for a lot of these teams. I mean, some of the better teams, I guess the favorites you could call them, you know, they haven't really been forced to be in position where they have to make those kind of adjustments, and maybe we'll see that in the finals or something, but so far that hasn't been a thing that we've seen all too often. They just come out the same area, and it's easy for these teams to kind of just contest them. Like we just saw Ziggy just ripping them to pieces with that tack visor.
Yeah, completely going uncontested over there, and it looks like Sinful Souls will not be taking this point. And yeah, it goes in the way of Pengu Skuad again. Man, Ziggy just really doing so much work on the soldier, going uncontested, laying way back in the lines of Pengu Skuad, but still dishing out the most damage.
So now moving on into this next map here, you know, they're already up 1-0. We're going over to Command Center. So, I mean, this is a map where, again, Bubble Kitty more than likely going to be wanting to stick to this Tracer. And they're probably not going to switch their comp at all, honestly. They're probably just going to stick to this, this like rogue-style dive, just the triple DPS dive that has become, I mean, a really, really solid setup. Typically, a lot of teams kind of go over to a 2-2-2 instead, but they're sticking to the triple DPS, and Rex now going over to a Reaper, actually, so they will have triple DPS themselves, but instead of the Genji, they're going to be running that Reaper. Already, Rex has just been dishing out the damage, but they lost their main tank here, Soul Hunter on respawn, and now they're just kind of crumbling, TBM, and it seems as though Sinful Souls is going to be backed out.
Gordon's just doing so much work on that Genji, but wow, nice kill on the Ziggy there by Warlock, but unfortunately it's not going to be enough as Gordon completely decimates the enemy team with his continuous dashes, just dash, reset, dash. It's just over and over again. It's like on a loop with this guy. Not just in this game, but every single game that he's played Genji, he has not failed to impress me one bit. And I'm being a Genji man myself, I'm going to say that's pretty impressive.
Basically holding onto the blade at the moment. Needs a little bit of healing to actually.
Yeah, I like the patience coming out of him. He knows he can take out the whole team, but he's just waiting so he can work through with his team. You know, playing it safe, make sure nothing goes wrong over there.
Oh, a nice reflect actually coming out from Gordon actually onto the flashbang, and he does indeed take out Warlock.
Dragon Blade being pulled out over here. Is it gonna do anything? And looks like it will. I don't see why he should have used it over there. I mean, there's just two of them left. He should have probably saved it for the next team fight, but nevertheless, they still have 5 ultimates that coming up. It's just the Dragon Blade that has been used. Probably trying to bail out an ultimate from the enemy team, I guess.
I mean, at that point, I have to agree. I think it certainly you don't want to see it used at that stage. A little bit late, but now Ziggy gonna be pulling out the tack visor. They have that
being
Lucio
pulled out.
well.
Is Warlock gonna get anyone? And he does get the Lucio, but a beautiful kill by Gordon on the McCree over there. Gordon is just doing so much work over here. He has so much ground to push. His reflexes are so insane to watch. He's just doing most of the damage over here. Wow.
And Ziggy uncontested at the top.
Soldier going uncontested, yeah. They have a diva. They should have improvised on that and at least try to take down the soldier, but they don't.
Well, the thing is that Warlock just switched. He just got his Deadeye off, so he's swapping actually from the McCree over to the diva now. So now he will be able to contest that, and that should be his main priority, is trying to contest Ziggy a little bit, trying to keep people off of the, his pillars on his team. But Rex getting contested. It looks like, again, Gordon pulling out that blade, finding 2 kills on the board, almost demeching almost by himself. Warlock, who, I mean, really can't get close to Ziggy at all. They're just completely keeping him away. So 2-0 now in favor of Pengu Skuad. And again, this is that second map. So if they're able to take this next map here on Lijiang Tower, that'll be the entire series, and we'll be moving on to a best-of-5 finals with Pengu Skuad taking on Ascendancy.
And this Gordon has really impressed me on Genji. His aim is so perfect, and he's just going in with that dash melee right click combo, which simply works every time when it comes to him. Like, he never fails. Like, he never fails at all. It's just dash set after dash, and that's really helping the team push and do most of the damage. And I won't be surprised if he's like, gold medal on damage. That won't be really surprising. We see the Pharaoh pick coming out on the side of Sinful Souls. Hopefully that works out in their favor.
I think it's crazy that Bubble Kitty hasn't actually pulled it out himself here on this map, because it's something that just was really, really strong for them in the past. And, I'm just surprised that they don't want to do it. But he's still doing work on the Tracer. They're still finding
super good on Tracer.
A ton of kill potential with that. And Gordon diving in onto Rex. Luckily, Rex is going to get some heals and going to be able to stay alive here. But again, that first cap going over again to the side of Pengu Skuad. And they're looking as strong as ever here. And again, if they take this map here on Garden, they will take the map, they will take the series, and they will be moving on to the final to take on Ascendancy.
Seems like it's going to be coming that, because they absolutely have no ground to push. Wow, Genji taking on the Reaper there from long range. And looks like Winston's going to fall, as he has no follow-up through with his team.
Bubble Kitty holding onto that pulse bomb at the moment, looking for an opportunity to get a stick here, but not actually taking advantage of that one right there. Gonna kill off Warlock as he pulls back. Rex now getting pressured as well. That pulse bomb again, just at the ready, looking for an opportunity to do that. We did see ZU actually try to go for a boop, not gonna get it. Doesn't have that long of a cooldown on that though, so he's probably gonna go for some more opportunities here if he can, but nobody's pressing that bridge. They're just getting free score here, TBM.
Yeah, they're just getting free ultimate charge. I mean, the Genji just poking there from a long distance. Tracer going in from the back, Winston jumping in and just going back when we needed. They're getting the heals that they need. I mean, they're just going to keep building ultimates like this, and they're not giving Sinful Souls any chance to push.
Soul Hunter basically alone right now near the point.
Beautiful survivability by Gordon over there as he almost falls off the map, but is able to keep himself up. Are we going to see the Dragon Blade being pulled out? I hope.
At this stage, I mean, you really could, as long as you're able to deal with this Mercy, but the invuln frames come out, and he's saved for now. Now looking to try to get this Reaper. They find that kill as ZU actually getting 2 kills on the board for himself, and Overlord gonna be contested, and then takes 3 shurikens into the back, and that's gonna be the elimination of the Ana. And not looking good for them.
I think 90%. It looks like Sinful Souls isn't gonna be taking this. Looks like another Pengu Skuad massacre.
Well, they have to get on the point here. They have 5 seconds to get onto the point, and they do manage to get there. But A actually going to be taken down, and again, Ziggy coming alive with that tack visor, nano boosted as well. Overtime ticks down in a quick and easy 3-0. 2-0 for the entire set. And man, Pengu Skuad looking insane right now as a team. Moving on into the finals to take on Ascendancy. That will be our final match of the day, and here's Gordon with play of the game. This is right at the end too, right? I mean...
Yeah. We call this Dragon Blade over here.
So again, really...
I really like how they have made the change to Mercy. Like, she becomes invulnerable during the res. And I feel that kind of helps in situations like these, because you had 2 seconds where the Genji couldn't dish out any damage, and assuming Sinful Souls did have the upper hand, they would have been able to take that point.
On top of that, she's not immobile anymore either, so it definitely helps out in that regard, because you're not just stuck as soon as you come